Hello, and thanks for joining me today and checking out this video on how to create an altar or a spiritual altar. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium, and today I'm going to be helping you out with this topic. Now, if you're new here, thanks for checking out this video. If you're a regular returning viewer, thank you so much for your support. Thanks you for checking out this series, which is WOW, my WOW videos, Wisdom on Wednesdays. You can find this video on Wednesday, or you can see the playlist by clicking on the logo and going to playlist. You can see over 50 unique spiritual videos there for you, free to check out. So today we're going to talk about creating an altar. Listen, you guys, I'm a psychic and a medium. I'm not Wiccan. I'm not anything. I'm simply a channel, to be honest with you. That's what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm going to be channeling the information from my spirit guides, throwing a little spice from the Susan part of this partnership today. Now, it is important to have a daily spiritual practice. Believe me, take it from me. Take it from someone who had to learn the hard way that it's very important to even just take 5 minutes. You know what? Even if it's 5 minutes in the shower, doesn't matter. You're basically aligning your energy with your purpose. What is your purpose? Hopefully to be of love and light. Hopefully you're aligning your purpose with God or creativity or whatever that is for you. Okay. So you're aligning your purpose. What is the first thing is intent. My intention for today is to not, or is to be joyful, is to be successful, is to be relaxed. Whatever it is, what is your intention for today? To walk in the light, to be of the light. If you would start doing that every day, just try it for 30 days. If you would start doing that for every day, you would notice a difference in your life. I'm challenging you to do this. If you want to come back 30 days later and say, Susan, that was a bunch of crock. I did it for 30 days and nothing changed. I'd be happy to talk to you about it in the comments. I'm always in the comments. Leave a comment. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to see it. And if it's something I can answer, I'm going to answer. Okay. That's how strongly I feel about this. Now, let's talk about an altar. Now, that's taking this whole thing one step further, right? You made your intention in the shower. Maybe you made your intention. Maybe you really take time to pray. Maybe you have some sort of beads or something that you use, or maybe you even meditate. But if you don't do those things, don't make it hard. That's where a lot of us get totally off, into the weeds, is we make it hard. Well, I just don't have time, or I want to wait until I feel better. I want to wait until I have more time, or I want to wait until I do this or do that. Don't wait. Waiting is not the answer. Again, take it from someone. I am your spiritual crash test dummy. What does that mean? It means that I go do these mistakes so that you don't have to. Then I come onto YouTube and I say, wow, don't do what I do. That's why I'm here. I'm here to be your spiritual crash test dummy. Don't wait. Waiting creates more problems. It creates more resistance. Resistance becomes a lesson. Don't do that. It's not helpful. Okay. So start where you stand. Start right now. Today, I'm going to just spend 1 minute setting my intention. You got a minute? I'm sure you got a minute. Listen, while you're in the restroom peeing, set your intention. It's not that hard. We make it hard. We make it like it's this big deal, but Spirit is saying, don't make it a big deal. Make it part of your life. Make it like breathing. You take time to eat. Take time to set your intention. Take time to be in alignment with Source, with God, with whatever it is for you, with the light. Okay. Now, how do you set and create an altar? Well, behind me, you could say that's an altar. I've got candles burning. I've got feathers. I've got, this thing is actually, something to burn sage in. I've got, I could make this an altar. It could be that simple. It could be decorative. It doesn't have to look like an altar. So I think that's also something that we get caught up in. Where am I going to put an altar in my house? I don't want weird stuff. I don't want people to think I'm weird, or I don't want the kids to get in it, or I don't want my spouse to think I'm weird, right? These are all blocks. They're all blocks, not necessary. That could be my altar right there. Now, I wouldn't make an altar that I would show on YouTube. That wouldn't probably be the best thing. So that is not my altar. I'm just saying it could be that simple. One feather, one picture, one candle, even if it's a battery, that down there is a battery candle. Doesn't even have to be a real candle. You guys, it's the intention. It could be a lamp. You could turn the lamp on for 30 seconds and have a drawer, pull the drawer out, pull out your items that you want on your altar, and put them on the altar in intent that this altar is now energized. I have now activated it. As a matter of fact, what they're telling me is, and I didn't know any of this, is that you open the drawer, you place the items on whatever it is, console table, sofa table, your desk, your nightstand, your dresser. You put the items on the dresser, whatever the surface is. Then when you turn the lamp on, that's the sun that's activating the altar. That's what they just told me. When you turn the lamp on, that's the light. You're bringing the light. You're actually activating all the items that you put out. Then you say your prayer, or you just sit for a second, 30 seconds, a minute, you guys. We're not asking for a lot here. And then when you're done, you turn the light off. That's closing the session out. You say in gratitude, thank you. You take your items, you package them up. Maybe you put them in an envelope. If you want it to be private, or a silk piece of fabric. I mean, you guys, you can do this any way you want to, and then you put it back in the drawer. There's your altar. It doesn't have to be a dedicated space in your house that you have to dust. Like for me, it's like, oh man, now I got to clean something else. I think that's a brilliant idea. I never thought about that before. I think that's brilliant that they gave us this idea of how to make an altar that's very private. Now, what might go on your altar? Now, this is very personal, but I'm just going to give you some ideas, okay? It could be, do not think this is, what you have to do, because it's very personal. And I also think it can change. So your altar could have a picture of a deity. It could have a picture of Jesus, or a picture of a goddess, or even a picture of Gaia, Mother Earth, could be on your altar. It could be a picture of the sun. It could be a picture that you cut out of a magazine. It could be a picture that you got printed off of your own personal pictures. Don't make it hard. Don't make it hard, because it's going to change. This is not, your altar is a living connection. It's like a living switch box that you connect to the divine with. So it's meant to change. You may start out with a particularly interesting oracle card that you really, really connect with, or a particularly interesting tarot card that you particularly connect with. Now, if you do that, make note to yourself that that deck is missing that card. But it is possible. You could even take that card, take it to Office Depot or Kinko's or someplace, and copy it and put the copy in your altar. It could be a picture of someone that you're missing, someone that's passed over. That could be in your altar. It could be something that you found that you believe was a sign. Believe it or not, I found that white feather back there. If you find a coin, or you find a feather, or anything, I mean, anything at all, a heart-shaped rock, a stone, a crystal could be in your altar. Perhaps You don't know why, but you want to put a particular crystal in your altar. Now, this is really important because you're going to know, I want to put this crystal in my altar. And when you put it down, you realize, no, no, that doesn't go there. Okay, so then you take it out and you put it away. That's important because you're learning your own energy. You're learning what feels like yes and no. Don't underestimate all of these things is guidance. Spirit always tells me we don't waste our energy. If we're sending you a message, it's important. We don't waste energy. It's not the easiest thing to make you, a busy human, hear a song on the radio or to see something like a feather or to feel something or to interact with another human. All these things are not easy. It takes effort and energy on not only, your spirit guide's behalf, but perhaps on another spirit guide's behalf, that they've come together to create these two humans to come together to have this little message, this little conversation. Can be something really that you would think of no significance, yet energetically, it has a lot of energy. So coming back to the altar, they're telling me that you could put, I don't know why this is, but you could put colors on your altar. So you could find a color, yellow, could be like a little change purse that you have that's a particular color that you feel drawn, I want to add some yellows to my altar. Perhaps, even if you're a guy, it doesn't matter. You want to add color to it because color is communication. Color is energy. Perhaps you have a desire to add something orange or red or blue or green. Add it to your altar. At some point, you're going to look at your altar and say, oh, I don't need this anymore. And you're going to remove something from your altar. You can also be very active with your altar. So you can actually burn sage in your altar. So even if your altar is something that's put away privately, you can pull it out, assemble it, turn your lamp on, which is activation, or perhaps the activation is burning sage. There's lots of ways to activate. You can activate it by having a candle, a little battery operated candle. Maybe you choose one that has a flickering energy to it so that you can see the flickering of the light. You may decide that when your altar is out, you want to play music. That might be important to you. So you may even take your phone and put it next to your altar and play a song. It's really important that we utilize all our senses. So when we burn sage, we smell. When we play a song, we're hearing something. Perhaps you want to have a Tibetan bell, you want to have a bowl, a Tibetan bowl. Perhaps you want to have something like this on your altar where you can, make sound. This is another way of clearing the energy. It's also another way of activating. So let's say you don't want to have a lamp. You don't even have an outlet there. This might be the activation. You can get these on Amazon very inexpensively, or you can get them Tibetan copper bowl. You can get it at your local crystal shop. So this could also be, I'm activating my session. I'm starting my session. So you can do any of these things. You may have a little cup of water that you have on your altar that you're blessing, that you ask to be blessed. Because there's some of you that need water on your altar, okay? Not everybody, but some of you may need water on your altar. Some of you that have a permanent setup for your altar might have a little waterfall. Like I think that actually is a waterfall. I think this thing is actually got a waterfall capacity. So this could be a little fountain. That could be your water connection. Not everybody needs water. Some people need water. This is really personal, but it's really important. So we went from in the beginning of this video, we said, set your intention and connect with your source, connect with God, connect with your higher self. Do that in the shower. Do it anywhere you can. To go one step further in your daily spiritual practice, honor the fact that, yes, you're human. Yes, absolutely, you're human, but you're also mystical. You're also magical. You also have a connection to the divine. Honor your ancestors. Honor your connection to the divine. Thank you. I'm in gratitude for this guidance. I appreciate these signs. I have noticed that this came to me, this rock that's shaped like a heart, this feather, this coin, whatever it was. I believe this is a message from the divine, and I have it here in my altar to thank the divine. You can also do things. You may be drawn to having a yin and yang symbol. Some of you may be having a yin and yang symbol, which is the half white, half black, two things that fit together, because you may be working on your shadow side. You may be working on your inner shadow. What is your shadow? Well, it's things that we don't see. Maybe things we don't even like about ourselves. Maybe we're judgmental. Maybe we're not standing up for ourselves. Maybe we're too passive. Maybe we're too judgmental. Maybe we're too outspoken. Maybe we don't speak out enough. Whatever it is that's inside that is a lesson for you to learn, you may want to work on that shadow side. Therefore, you may want to have something black. You may find a black feather that goes in your altar. It doesn't mean you're connecting to the dark. It means that the sun casts a shadow. We all have a shadow, even the sun. No one gets by without a shadow. But when we ignore the shadow, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it gets to be a problem. So we want to acknowledge the shadow. We want to acknowledge our connection to the divine in whatever way that is for you. You may find pieces of nature. There's so many things that you can put on your altar, and it can change, okay? I hope this was helpful for you. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know. Do you have an altar? Have you ever had an altar? What was on your altar? Or do you have a suggestion? If you don't want to share what's on your altar, that's perfectly fine. Perhaps you have a suggestion for a good idea for an altar. Or perhaps you have an example of an altar that you had at some point that you no longer have. Would love to hear your ideas and suggestions around your altar. Again, you can click the logo that is my YouTube channel and go straight to my main YouTube channel page, click playlist, go to the WOW videos, and you can watch all the videos you want for free on all kinds of interesting topics, all of them designed to help you, to really help you. Again, I am your crash test dummy. I'm out there making the mistakes so you don't have to. Thanks so much for watching today. Take really, really good care of yourselves. I'll see you again next Wednesday.